Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Hollywood After Dark. My name, of course, is Matt Jarbo, and tonight is the night. My nips are hard. I hope yours is too. We're laughing at DOOMCOCK all night long with Mikey Sutton. We'll be joining the party, but we're also going to be talking a bit about that Spider-Man trailer and a whole heap of other news. Get ready, folks. Here we go. It's Hollywood After Dark. Hit the like button, baby. Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well tonight. Thank you for joining the show. I know a few of you are probably holdovers from my earlier live stream where we watched the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer and checked out some of the live streams coming from the Sherman Oaks Regal Cinemas, where Sony put on that entire very interesting display of things. But before we dive into everything tonight, you might be asking yourself, where exactly is last night's live stream? If you had not been able to check out last night's Hollywood After Dark, the reason why is because, well, Warner Brothers decided to come on in like a whole bunch of little bitches and block it worldwide because we showcased 30 seconds of the Batman featurette, and apparently that was just a bridge too far. I trimmed the segment out instead of disputing it, and YouTube has not updated the processing. It's now been over 24 hours, so that episode will eventually become available for people to watch. However, for right now, it's probably not going to work out, unfortunately. But if you are looking to check out the trailer 2 live breakdown, we had a great time tonight, had a full panel of people, had over 600 folks watching, and it was an absolute blast. So thank you all for that. But let me just quickly give a shout out to our channel members. We have our IMAX members. These guys are the top tier of top tiers. Thank you all very much for being very, very, very supportive members of the channel. We also got the Prime members, not to be forgotten. You guys, no one here is one above the other, but thank you guys very much for being Prime members. I know we've also got the Matinee members here, and I need to upgrade Rhea from Matinee to Prime. Today, of course, has just been a little bit on the busy side, so thank you very much for that one. And of course, this month's giveaway is going to be a 4K copy, 2 4K copies actually, of Alita Battle Angel on home video. I got them in the mail yesterday, so I can have them mailed off. Toot sweet for next month. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift, or you just want to hang out and support the hashtag Alita Army in hopes of getting a sequel, become a channel member, help support out, and get your name in the running. Let's take a quick look here at the chat. Lord's like you're talking about the live stream. Says that stream was legendary, especially when the live stream cut off during the trailer. Now, do you mean during the trailer or while we were getting ready to watch the trailer and that girl just killed it? Because that was, honest to God, one of those weird situations where I that was a legitimate reaction. That was really hysterical. Now Toronto here says the way Enosh acted when the boys on your stream showed, according to him, their excitement was absolutely despicable. Now, I saw the comments on that one, Freddie, and as much as Enosh is my boy, and he's had a rough week. His grandmother passed away the other day. I understand that. Like one of my good friends passed away last week. I totally get it. I did feel he was a bit of a wet blanket, but I also understand that whole, I'll go to his streams and I'll end up being the wet blanket over the Snyder Cut stuff. So maybe he was just kind of like paying it back a little bit. But honestly, the chat was not having any of it, and everything like that. So I get it. It's one of those things that's okay, to disagree. I think he'll get there eventually. At least I hope he does. So we got McLeod here. I see McLeod. We got B. We got Rational. We got Gamers X. Gamers X. Hold on. Did you say that? I wanted to make sure I see this. Did you say you lost a pet? Oh, your dog passed away earlier tonight. Man, I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. I understand what that's like. I totally get it, man. I'm very sorry for that. I hope you're okay. I hope you get a little bit of a laugh tonight. I hope you get a little bit of relief tonight. But just know that, man, your dog loved you probably more than anybody else. And you were a bright, shining light in their life. and never forget that. But yeah, I'm real sorry for that. You lost your dog, buddy. That is sad. So tonight we have a special guest. He was supposed to come on last night, but that didn't happen. So that's okay. I ended up taking last night off myself. I think I did. I don't know what day it is anymore, guys. Every day seems to run together. But without further ado, let's welcome to the stream Geekosity Mag editor-in-chief and my friend Mikey Sutton. How's it going, Mikey?
Hey man, how's it going?
Today's been fun.
DOOMCOCK's been really quiet, man. Where's DOOMCOCK?
No, well, not really. Not as quiet as you might think. He's been chirping.
Really? Okay.
He's been chirping up a little bit of a storm. He's been out there trying to run a little bit of damage control. He's been out there going like, "Oh, DOOMCOCK was right," and you're like, "No, hold on, miss." You know, like DOOMCOCK is the kind of guy that thinks CRT means Caucasian replacement theory. That's what he's really thinking. All right, like let's be fair on that one. But no. In this case, it's really hysterical to me how in this specific moment in time he is still trying to proclaim that he is right. So before we really dive into it, just to give a quick recap to anyone who's watching this who just doesn't know who DOOMCOCK is, you lucky motherfucker, you. This is a guy who I've made fun of multiple times before, simply because he peddles in bullshit. Right? He peddles in made up manufactured nonsense. He pushes a culture war where it doesn't need to be. And what's really fascinating is all of the ways that he is trying to spin having been wrong. And this is not something like, minor, like, oh, I got a release date wrong or a little thing. This is like, he kept saying for the longest time, my Hollywood spies have told me that Kathy Kennedy is basically out, that she has been relegated to nothing. She has no power. She's barred from the set of The Mandalorian, that there is a Lucasfilm civil war, all of these things. And every time he says it, every time he talks about retconning the sequel trilogy, it boils down to a different technique. There's the veil of the Force, right? Then there's like some time travel thing or whatever the fuck else is he mentioned. There's been like 3 separate instances of where he has basically said that they are trying to that they're going to, not that they're trying, that they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy using generally different tactics, but it all goes back to the same style of thing. And it's like, look, this is bad fan fiction writing. All right. This is like season 13 Doctor Who style writing. This is some bad stuff here.
Oh man, that's a huge insult.
I mean, it's bad, but it's like his audience, hey, listen, I have to give credit in some respects. And I'll explain this. When you are able to go in front of like 300,000 people and just fucking lie consistently every day while pushing the occult bullshit on them, like rational, skeptical people that are to believe everything I say is I cannot independently verify, so it all be taken with a grain of salt and rumor. But hold on, let me get Cameron Pasha and this guy who calls himself a witch and talk about tarot card reading and remote viewing into Kathy Kennedy's office. Like it's something you do on a Friday fucking evening. It's the stupidest crap that ever happens on this platform in regards to Star Wars. And I'm telling you today, I got hit up by a person I know today who's in the commentary community. And they're like, do you know anyone else worth talking about? And I went, oh yeah. And I'm like, have you ever heard of the Fandom Menace? And they're like, no. And I'm all like, oh yeah. No. Just enjoy. Go look. And they came back and went, oh, this is interesting. Because this is the thing. The people who can't stand being criticized love to criticize. And again, any kind of pushback or calling out is just going to like make them run to mommy, make them run and cry and all of this kind of stuff. And that is that's great. Hold on. Planetary Federation of Unions here says, meanwhile, the clowns at Clownfish TV are furious that they were wrong too, but are doubling down on the fact that they believe she was fired. Right.
It never ends.
Right. It's always that goalpost moving. It's always that kind of stuff. It's always like, oh no, she's not actually fired. And you know what? We'll dive right into that little thing.
Yeah.
Starting off because we'll get to the DOOMCOCK laughing first because there's a lot of it to laugh at here. So Mr. Cock, says here on Twitter today So this confirms my sources were right about Ruin Johnson's trilogy being shelved and all the trolls rejoicing about KK's contract renewal rumor. I've been reporting rumors she was renewed for months. Gee, hold on, Mikey. I'm sorry. I have to quickly pause for a second and posit a side question to the audience and to you. Where did he hear that fucking rumor? Oh, it's right.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
From you.
And he gave you credit too, which was hilarious. I'm the only person he gave credit to that he doesn't like.
Oh yeah. He starts calling you woke, right?
Oh, yeah,
Starts calling you woke. That to me was really funny. Mikey, I hear Mikey Sutton might be woke. Take with a grain of salt. He might be woke.
Oh, the funniest line was, "This report rots my ass."
Yeah, well, you know what? With all the money you make lying to people, get a fucking bidet. Not that hard. They're like $30 on Amazon, dude, and squirt that butt. That make you feel better? What? I'm just saying it's more sanitary in some aspects than like wasting all of that toilet paper. All right. I mean, like we got to think of the children and the future. Bidet it up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get one. My girlfriend's like, hell no. She's like, I don't need water squirting up my ass. And I'm all like, yeah, but it really wakes you up in the morning. No, but I'm just saying. So he says this here, and he brings up and we'll take a look at that article as well because I think it summarizes the puck news. I'm not paying for that paywall shit. Sorry, I don't know who this guy is, but there was a guy named Baloney or something, Mario Baloney. And I don't know, it's baloney something. And so he wrote about it, but he's a former editor over at the Hollywood Reporter. So he's not like, Tom, Dick, Harry. And I even said this too. I said, he's not like Mikey even who, is coming into prominence, but like an actual, trade representative.
It's a different level there. When you're for the trade, that's different. You get fed,
Oh yeah. And I read like a part of what this guy had to say. Cause like they had, like most of the article was available to take a look at, but it really just kind of cracks me up that today people, the cope is real. The coping is so real. The seething is real. The attempts to double down, to goalpost move, to gaslight their audience. It is so real. And even after this, right, he comes back in again. He said, for those saddened by rumors, KK quietly signed a deal. A rumor I reported weeks ago. Duh. Try watching my vids, trolls. You just look stupid. Says the guy with a bedpan on his fucking face. But you know what? I'm not here to kink shame. All right. Saying here, rest assured her power is stripped from Star Wars. Favreau, Filoni on in control. Indy 5 rewrites are on. And Ruin J is ruined. Just as here's the thing with that, Mikey, is do you remember when they announced the Rian Johnson trilogy of films? It was about 4 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a long while.
Yeah, and there's never been an official statement on it since then. Just that it's in development. That's the most I heard. Mm-hmm. And even that was 2019 at that Star Wars summit that they had, right? Where Kathy brought in Dan and Dave. This is after Game of Thrones, after that whole backlash. And then they brought in Rian Johnson apparently, and they were talking about stuff. That's the last we heard. And that's been 2.5 years. And then here comes Netflix and buys both Knives Out sequels for $450 million. So, you can sit there and just go, well, if you just kind of look at it just objectively, maybe his franchise has been shelved.
Yeah, what's really funny too, Matt, is that weren't these guys totally against that Rian Johnson project? So shouldn't they be happy it's shelved? I mean, shouldn't they be happy that Kathleen Kennedy canceled it? So
yeah, I would argue they're probably happy Kathy Kennedy probably ended it, but at the same time, they're just like, no, there's content we can't use, because that's really what a lot of it boils down to. Is just they're just like not able to that. Oh, this is great. Planetary Federation of Union says, I thought Midnight's Edge Insider. This would be Cameron Pasha, KAMRANPASHA. For those of you who are just wondering how to spell it when you Google whether or not he's a chuckle fuck, that's how you spell it. He's out there, and he just, I don't have any clips saved because I really try not to. But the shit that I've seen this guy say is just it really breaks your mind. But I will say this. As much as I do not want Rian Johnson to have a Star Wars franchise, I would like to see what he's able to do directing an episode of like Mando or something.
Well, he directed a Breaking Bad episode that was brilliant, right?
Yeah, he
I
did.
remember that was
He did.
awesome, awesome episode.
Those are, oh yeah, he did the Hank episode, and that's like, that was a tough one to land, and he landed it hardcore. And Knives
Oh
Out was
God, yeah,
also really
awesome.
good. Like, I love Knives Out.
Yeah,
So I think if he's doing his own original stuff, or he has, because everyone's like, oh, he directed Breaking Bad. Don't forget, Vince Gilligan was the showrunner on that.
yeah, you couldn't go wrong
So,
with him. Yeah.
they were able to kind of rein it in a little bit. And even like, I think Patty Jenkins did a couple Breaking Bad episodes. Again, it's all about the showrunner and
Yeah.
setting the tone for the episodes and for the series and everything else. The directors on television, they really don't, it's not to say that they don't bring a lot to it. They do, but they're also on a leash. They're on a very
Yeah.
tight leash. And that's kind of where we find ourselves, where I think Ryan Johnson does best is when he has that leash, or it's something that's wholly original. In the case of The Last Jedi, he didn't have a leash. There was no micromanaging oversight. And I think that that lack of a micromanaging oversight is one of the things that is, I think is why we've seen there be so much turmoil over there at Lucasfilm. Is I think after The Last Jedi, they're like, no, we need to like oversee everything.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ryan and Teddy have something in common, is that they both dislike working within a larger framework that's not theirs.
Yeah.
Um, like Patty's just not a team player. She didn't like working with DC Films if she was supposed to have the other parts of the ECU involved. Um, and it's a problem. She got fired from Marvel as well, so that's why.
Oh yeah, yeah. She is, creative differences over
Yeah,
over
yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, and then there was I'm sorry, Wonder Woman 84 was an unmitigated disaster.
Oh God.
And I'm not even trying to shit on that movie. Like, again, that's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's like, if you just would have, like, I don't know, changed this and this and this, it maybe would have been a little bit better. But it's still, it's still the fact that the villain of that movie, and I'm going to spoil this because I really don't care. The villain of that movie literally becomes the president of the United States of America, ends up losing all of his power. Somehow still Marine One takes him back. They don't arrest him. Marine One takes him back to DC, where he exits out of a helicopter to this, like, just somehow this crazy, like trashed feel, like looting had happened. And then all of a sudden he's like, my boy, my baby boy, where's my baby boy? And then out of the tree line just wanders his fucking kid. Like, just, daddy, oh my God, daddy, oh, I'm so sorry, my baby boy. You're like, and then, like, that's the last you see of him. No Maxwell Lord abusing this, this genie power in order to take over the world, essentially. No jail time. No Congress, no hearings on him, nothing. He just gets to, like, embrace his son, which is nice. And then he just saunters off into the distance, and we never hear from him again. We never see him again. Unless this is meant to be like a setup for like more Maxwell Lord in the future. But they kind of tried to redeem his character. When it's like, if you want to redeem his character, fine. But pull from the ending of Superman 78. Grab fucking grab the lasso, fucking fix your stupid, you can fly. Fuck it. You can fly now. Okay. So lasso him, tie the other side to you, fly his ass back to DC, drop him off in a jail cell, or in a prison yard, just like they did with fucking Lex Luthor at the end of 78. And then go, okay, now we as an audience know that he's at least going to be incarcerated, even though there's still the whole due process thing. But he's going to be incarcerated. At least we have a visual representation of there being punishment, not just like, oh, my son, I missed you so much. And then, like nothing happened. I'm sorry. I freaking, that movie drives me up the wall, and people try to defend that shit, but it's,
no, for many reasons that film really annoyed me. And the lack of '80s music was a big one for me. I was just
yeah,
like,
right. That was not even like, that was a cardinal sin.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a cardinal sin. How do you sit there and go, hey, we're set in the 1980s, and then have no 80s music? That's like saying, like, well, yeah, we're a video game movie, and then not having a single video game reference into it. You
Yeah,
know, like
people breakdancing and there's no hip hop music playing. That was weird. Like,
yeah, this is like we spent all of our money renting this mall because we really wanted to copy Stranger Things. That's about it. So stupid. So stupid. Anyway,
and
back to
Jeff Johns is co-writing the next one, so there
is
you
he?
go. Yeah, him and Patty are gonna work on it from what I heard.
Okay, here's the
Be
thing with that,
afraid, be
right?
very afraid.
Oh no, I'm afraid. I'm 100% afraid. I don't even want to see it. But if he's learned his lesson from working on Stargirl, maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Stargirl's good. Stargirl is a really good show. I was
And he show
surprised.
runs that. He show runs
Yeah,
that. So it's
yeah,
like maybe you know what? Maybe it's just I think as you said to me, Patty is just hard to work with.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's give her own whatever you want to call it. Give her own project that's a low budget thing. And
Mm-hmm.
Netflix should sign her to do original content on Netflix, and they'll be happy. Because I mean, hell, everyone's going to go to Netflix at some point in time. I mean, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if like 10 years down the road, they're like, let's start hiring YouTubers.
you never know.
Anyway,
I
you
wouldn't be
never
shocked.
know.
I literally would not be shocked.
I would not be shocked either
As
on
long as
that
you don't
one.
hire Doomcock and have a Doomcock show.
It'd be banned in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
All right. So then Doomcock on a third message now. On a third message, he says here, my sources say KK's renewal is the equivalent of Japanese corporations who promote incompetent managers to window jobs, where they have no power or duties, is all to save face. Details have yet to be announced, but my sources tell me she was renewed months ago. Sadly, right again. What does he write about? Like
Yeah.
like for one, it was your rumor said on
Yeah.
my show.
Yep.
And then that's not him reporting on anything that he came up with. So he definitely doubles down on it by kind of using himself for confirmation, which
Yeah.
last I checked is really stupid.
Rewriting history, I guess, right? I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so I love this one right here. It's all like, I know these trolls lie all the time. It's all they have. But Hollywood is unstable and changeable. Ruin Johnson had a trilogy, the trade said. That trilogy is dead because things change constantly. I can't keep up the voice. So were the trades lying or did the situation change? Trolls are so stupid. Like again, goalpost moving out the wazoo. That's all it is. It's just goalpost moving out the wazoo. And then I responded back with this.
If you believe Doomcock's rumors, that's great. I don't. If you believe
that says it all right there, right? Perfect summary.
I was at the library this morning and I came across the tweet and I'm like, I gotta go find that drop. And I made the drop real quick.
I
But
couldn't stop laughing when I first saw that. I'm like, his own people going against him, right?
his own actually, and you know what? I saw things today about that too,
Yeah.
where the guy who gave him shit back on Friday Night Tights back in the summer was Ryan Kinnell,
Yeah.
who is fucking psycho. But like he called him out, and then like no one said anything, and then Doomcock was like, oh, my ego, and that's when Jeremy came out and he defended Ryan and threw Doomcock under the bus, and Doomcock was just freaking out on Twitter for I think like days, it felt like, and then they finally kind of worked it all out. But Doomcock is no longer associated with those guys like in any capacity. And so now this is why, if you notice at around that point in time, he basically out on his own. He's got his own audience of people, but like he's now just dealing with the fanatics and he's constantly moving the goalpost. And you can tell even his own friends are like, dude, we're tired of this. We're just, oh my God, we're so tired. But then like, people here are, they look, they defend him, right? Like, nothing's certain in Hollywood. This guy here says, where's that Doomcock is right video? And then, again, like they're not even questioning like why they're not even looking at the fact that he keeps saying and he's wrong, but they just keep like saying, or here's one guy says, just take the L. This guy here says, I stand with you over what? Like the guy's lying, some people are just like, they give him some shit. As we say in Friday Night Tights and elsewhere, Doomcock was correct. Or Friday Night Frolics, which is Doomcock's own show, by the way. That's his show. Friday Night Frolics is his live stream, not Friday Night Tights, which is the other one. So, so again, it's a bunch of confirmation bias from within inside his own echo chamber. And then here, this guy here, Super Nate says, literally everything you report has been half truth or lies. Your entire career is based on stringing people along so they keep tuning into your videos. You can take the L or cry like a bitch because you got called out, plain and simple.
Oh, wow.
You know, and some people are, like, here we go, but you're the troll who constantly mongers in rumors. Some people were giving him shit. Some people were defending him. And then, this guy here was at, Raging Rhino says, I thought sources confirmed she was gone. Sources don't exist. And someone was wrong and lied to us all. Okay. So some random guy, this guy doesn't have many people, like 800 followers. Like, okay, I'm not saying he's no one, but I mean, I don't know who he is. But then here's DOOMCOCK popping and going like, no, you thought wrong. And obviously you don't watch or pay attention to my vids. I reported on this rumor months ago with more details about the quiet signing weeks ago. Anyone who doesn't understand Hollywood is unstable and they change their minds, or anyone who doesn't understand Hollywood is unstable and they change their minds constantly is rather naive. But he just keeps saying the same shit and expecting the different results.
Yeah, how many times can you keep saying it when you're proven incorrect?
Well, that's the whole point. He's gotta look on YouTube. Like he was getting ratioed pretty hard the other day when the news broke. A lot of people were giving him shit for it, which was really funny, to be honest with you. But the big, I think probably like the big interesting thing on my end was none of that really matters, to be honest with you. And I say that because Twitter is not going to really do much on that. Twitter is not going to end up. I'm trying to find it, and I can't. Well, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna bring it up here. All right. So we got this tweet here, and then for some reason I can't find the actual link here. But this is his last video from a couple days ago, and this guy here says this hasn't aged well. David says this hasn't aged well at all. High Republic video game and the works, and Kathy's just looking around because he keeps saying that High Republic is going to be retconned, right? He keeps saying the High Republic's going to be removed from canon. The sequel trilogy is going to be removed from canon. All this stuff's going to be removed from canon. And then here, Santiago says, just wait, guys. Baitcock will appear claiming someone who knows something at Lucasfilm. Says Kathleen Kennedy got her contract renewed due to pity under the condition of her creative pejoratives going to Filoni and Favreau or some shit like that, which is something he's already effectively said.
Yeah.
Is that she's out of power. She doesn't have no power. And that it's all Dave and Jon Favreau. The thing with that is, though, again, is if you were to depose probably the most powerful female executive in Hollywood and some window dressing promotion or renewal for a couple years, because now I don't know if you've paid attention, but when you reported the rumor that she was going to be renewed, they all jumped on it. And the way they jumped on it, though, was by saying that it wasn't really a contract renewal. It was only an extension. So it wasn't 3 years. It was only 2 years. And that was just to finish Indy. And that was something that a lot of them said at the time. Like, oh, it's probably just going to be this. And I kept hearing it repeated and repeated and repeated. I think even like dipshit Tom at Midnight's Edge said the exact same thing. And it's like, dude, the hell's wrong with you guys? Like, it's not how any of this works. So, and they're saying, oh, because she's a producer on Indiana Jones. So, of course, that's how it has to be. And it's like, like Walter Hamada was executive producer on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like if he like, what the fuck, guy? So was Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was executive producer on the Suicide Squad. And as far as I know, motherfucker didn't do anything with it.
No, I think his name was on there. Get a little profit participation. That's about it.
Oh, yeah.
But what's really funny, though, that when I got that scoop, I was really like, should I run this? I mean, to me, it was already like common sense, right? I mean, like, it's like no shit, right? One of those no shit news, right? And then I thought, you know what? I'll break it on that show, and just to, throw it out there. And we ran the story, and I got some flack afterwards, like mainly because of my association with you.
I have that effect on some people.
He said, "Oh, you're only like reporting this because you're biased towards Matt Jarbo and you guys are friends," and So when this got confirmed today, it felt really good. The other day, it felt really good. I was like, "Well, take this," you know. I mean, Scoop confirmed it's official. I mean, she's staying, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
I,
mean, and by the time, and by the time that this next contract is up, she'll be
yeah,
like 71
yeah,
and she'll have been at it for 12 years. And
yeah,
I could see her then like stepping down. But like right
yeah.
now, let's be fair, Star Wars, I don't want to say is in as much of a place of turmoil as it was 2 years ago.
Mhm.
They clearly have a plan now. It is definitely like the Disney Plus stuff is
Yeah.
really what's going on. Obviously, missing out on last week with Disney Plus Day was, I don't know why they did that. You told me they were saving it for
They are saving much of that for an event they have coming up. I don't know what the event is, but they have an event coming up where they are saving that because a lot of the other projects they have, Matt, they can't really talk about. They're so early in development right now,
yeah.
so they have to save what they have for this event, and they can't really discuss Kevin Feige's project right now. It's very early. So what are they going to talk about? You know what I mean?
Well,
Um,
let me ask you this then, because I agree
yeah,
with Anthony here. He says Star Wars is in a good place if they stay away from movies for a while, and I don't
yeah,
disagree.
yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I think like 2023, the 4 year gap in between is fine. That's fine to do it. I mean,
Hmm.
I think that they could, because eventually, well, okay, let me ask you, because sorry, let me collect my thoughts here.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that eventually Star Wars could effectively do the Marvel model. I do. I
Yeah.
think there's enough content there. There's enough
Hmm.
lore. They could make it work.
Yeah.
But they realize that even though they've got a 40+ year legacy, they've got to start slower. I think that's what they're going to
Hmm.
be doing now is the slower build into something that's more consistent. And I know that the Disney Plus side of things is a really big factor in that. But my question is like, do you think that that is it just me, or are they bringing in Feige adjacent people like with
They
good
are.
reason?
They are. Yeah. The MCU is really their model, and it has been since the beginning of Mandalorian. The formula of bringing one character at a time and then having them form a team. That was it was pretty obvious what they were doing there. Um, before Gina Carano was ousted and everything.
Yeah.
But it is they have Favreau there. I mean, they have the director of for Ragnarok. I mean, they're bringing all these people in from the
Well,
Marvel
like
Studios.
Michael Waldron, who wrote
There you go,
Loki,
Loki. Yeah, there you go.
and that was really well done, really well received. Um, and then I mean, yeah, there's a lot. I feel like, I've made the comment before about like, just kind of like let Star Wars like, well, what if? Because okay, here's the thing, is I
Hmm.
know everyone looks at like Kathleen Kennedy is like she's just like they think that she's in charge of only Star Wars, you know.
Hmm.
And that's not to say that that's not the case, because she is
Yeah.
in charge of Star Wars. But Lucasfilm is not just Star Wars. There's a lot of other elements to it, and I'm
Hmm.
kind of wondering like, would it be better? And this is I don't know if you have an answer, more of a hypothetical.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Would it be better to relinquish, like treat Star Wars kind of like how Marvel was being treated about like 6, 7, 8 years ago, where
Hmm.
you had Marvel Studios and Marvel Television, and you have Star Wars Studios and you've got Star Wars
Yeah.
Television, but they're more connected because there's clearly a community there.
Yeah.
But you just kind of let someone like Feige, maybe
Hmm.
it's a proxy of Feige, I don't know, like just kind of like help guide the way. And that's kind of what I felt like VP Michelle Rejwan, when she was brought in 2 years ago,
Hmm.
was going to do, because she was she's coming off of working at Bad Robot. She was a
Yeah.
hire by JJ, obviously recommended to Kathy by JJ. I mean, clearly. And then but there hasn't been much out of her since then, because I mean there's been the reformatting. But then I'm just wondering, like, one of the things I read in that Puck news piece, right, is that apparently like it wasn't just that Patty Jenkins had problems with Kathleen Kennedy. The micromanagement elements of it
Yeah.
really apparently were coming from Michelle Rejwan.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Michelle Rejwan, as I just mentioned, she was hired right to Lucasfilm as the VP of live action development. I think right before the Rise of Skywalker came out. And so any of the new movies are going to go through her as well. So I think kind of like, while Kennedy oversees stuff, she's kind of the number 2 on that front. And so, you know, and a lot of people don't know who she is. So maybe that's kind of the issue on that.
Well, yeah, because Kathleen Kennedy's kind of the face of Lucasfilm. I mean, you know, she's the most well-known figure there. Besides the 2 Fs, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, do you but you think that they should probably like just focus on the television side? I mean, I could even see them dropping the movies for a while, you know, like for a while. I know that sounds weird to say as a Star Wars fan. It's like, no, you know, maybe take like another couple years off. Because I think it's like, because I'll be honest with you, man. I'll be honest with you. My reasoning for saying that is not because I don't want to see it. I do. My reasoning boils down to 2 things. One, I just feel like the longer form serialized storytelling is precisely what Star Wars needs. And 2, I'm fucking exhausted. And I don't want to deal with the fucking idiots. Because we deal with it as it is. Mandalorian is pretty universally loved. You know, and even with the Gina Carano thing, there's like nothing those guys could really find about season 2 or whatever. You know, that they could really get at, you know, and if they try going after Book of Boba Fett, yeah, good fucking luck. You know, I think these guys know not to piss off the wrong crowd. So, I mean, but okay, sorry. I've been talking a lot. I know you don't have a great deal of time.
Yeah, but, you know, what they're planning on that's kind of close to what you're hoping for. They're I don't want to say they're afraid, but they're kind of having cold feet about their theatrical projects right now. Ever since Rise of Skywalker didn't do very well. The Last Jedi, even though it made all that money, the polarized reaction was of great concern. And so they're putting more scrutiny in any theatrical projects they're doing. So you're going to see a slowdown on the film side, and then you're going to see more of an increase on the television side. They feel a lot of pressure, Matt, with the theatrical films, because they feel it has to stack up against, you know, the trilogy.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the right story there, and you know, they were worried that it could possibly really wound the franchise. So you're seeing a lot of projects which would have been theatrical all of a sudden show up on Disney Plus. Mainly because you cost down, but it also takes some of the pressure on. They need a big theatrical hit, that's what it is. They need a big Star Wars theatrical hit that say, hey, okay, we're back. And you know, they didn't see it with Rogue Squadron at all. They didn't see it with what, you know, Patty had planned for it. So you know, there is that factor as well. So in order for them to greenlight a theatrical film now, it's got to check all the boxes. I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be a slog waiting for that, you know, theatrical Star Wars film. Aside from Feige and the one that Ragnarok director is doing. Aside from those 2, you're going to see a slowdown that, you know, because they're. I think that the word I can use is picky, because you really have cold feet.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I just like, I understand that, you know, there was a lot of diminishing returns with the movies after, you know, I mean, come on. After The Force Awakens hits like, you know, 2.2 billion going up against Avatar, you're just like, holy shit, like Star Wars is back, baby. I mean, it is what it is. But I would argue that, like, you know, look at Rogue One, and Rogue One was phenomenal. I love Rogue One.
Love Rogue One. Yeah.
I can't wait for Cassian Andor. I just want to spend more time with there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this though, I think probably the best thing that Star Wars should do, and this might get me flamed in the chat, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not, but I feel they're at their most interesting right now when they're not dealing with the Jedi directly.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
you're right. Yeah.
I mean, like, Star Wars is inherently political, as everything is. There's a lot there that Lucas is going for. I think they could easily find a way to tie that in. People are clearly interested. They are invested in these characters, but Yeah, maybe just you're right. The theatrical side of it maybe is a bit stressful. And I'll say this too. I think part of the blame of the 5 theatrical films that we've gotten out of Lucasfilm since 2015, I think a large part of that comes down to Iger. And Iger kind of owned up to it a bit in 2018 after Solo flopped. But the thing was, I disagreed with him about the assertion of putting out too much too quick. It was just it's because we're so used to Marvel, and even now more so following the end of the Infinity Saga. But it's like we're so used to Marvel that it has to feel consistent and connected. And the thing was, The Last Jedi just wasn't consistent. And as a result of that, The Rise of Skywalker felt it as well, because that suffered from the case of massive overcorrection.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas Mandalorian comes along and it's like, hey guys, I'm Mando. Look at baby Grogu right here. And everyone's like, oh my God.
It felt invigorating, right? It was fresh,
And I think because it was small, because it was it's a smaller, more intimate story. And I'll tell you this, that's one of the reasons why the animated show Resistance I liked so much, because it dealt with like dealing with the First Order before The Force Awakens, but doing it from a refueling station in the middle of nowhere, where it was like one kid sent in as a spy. It's a kid show, obviously, but it felt contained. And then every once in a while, it would dip its toe into the larger narrative and give us a bit more backstory and a bit more information and a bit more lore. And then it would come right back and it would build up to it again and it would go out there again. And I think people, and I don't want to say people need like their handheld on that, but what I think it boils down to are people need to kind of feel reassured that like what they're getting is leading towards something. And maybe that was the problem with the sequel trilogy as a whole. So here's, I've said this about, what's it called? About Galaxy's Edge. I enjoyed Galaxy's Edge when I was there. I look forward to going again. However, my thought process on that was, wait a minute, you guys spent $1 billion per park on this land that's meant to, to kind of accentuate the sequel trilogy era. Obviously a prequel to like to where we are right now, but you're doing this 6 months before the finale of this trilogy, where we know that just by logical default, the First Order is going to be destroyed. Kylo Ren is either going to turn good or he's going to die. We know these things because they're not hard to figure out. It's how these stories tend to end. So then you have a theme park that can't evolve. You have a theme park that is stuck in this place. And I think that's where like the Avengers Campus comes along and it's all like, oh, hey, we got a new TV show this week. Cool. We're going to have variants of Loki pop up in the different outfits that he's wearing on the show that week. Oh, WandaVision's going to have those characters show up. Oh, we're going to have the What If Zombies show up. Oh, we're going to have, clearly Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are going to pop up, when that drops next week. So there's like so many things that, they're able to evolve. They had the Eternals. They had Shang-Chi pop up. They were able to evolve with where things are and make it fit. And it's like, why the fuck isn't the Mandalorian walking around Disney, Galaxy's Edge? Why doesn't he have a Grogu with him? Why don't you have Greef Karga? Why don't you have a Gina Carano? Why don't you have Cara Dune? I still keep the character around. Like, like all of these things that you feel should be there aren't there. And it's this massive, like, it's a blunder on their end. And that's where I think now after everything, they've kind of gone back and went like, well, we need to fix things. And I feel they're in a really good place. What they're putting out, I'm really enjoying.
Well, yeah, I feel better about the way the future of Star Wars right now. What I'm hearing is that with the Kevin Feige project in particular, they want to go for a back to basics approach. Feige he's a huge Star Wars fan anyway, right? But the first Star Wars film to him is like the Holy Bible. So he wants to capture that serial, pulpy serial tone of the first film, and expand from there. With we all know it's not just going to be one film, right? I mean,
yeah.
So, which is why I keep hearing that over and over again of these Knights of the Old Republic keeps coming back in association with the Feige project. Because he really wants that more of a back to basics approach. which I think is going to inform Star Wars going forward. Um, you know, to keep it, like without having to, get all pretentious and everything. Like Mandalorian is really back to basics, and
Super back to basics.
right. I mean, the
Yeah,
whole
it's
Western
like
theme.
elementary. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah.
Like let's introduce the characters, have people get to know them, without putting pressure on ourselves or the fans to like shove things down their throat. Um, like Mandalorian has enough familiar stuff where it's Star Wars. It's like the most Star Wars since Lucas, right? You know, and that's what they want to do going forward. I'm hearing that the Rogue Squadron project really veers away too much from the Star Wars formula, like too much, which is not shocking because Patty Jenkins, um, where it didn't feel like Star Wars. And you have a film called Rogue Squadron. That damn well better feel like Star Wars, you know?
Well, I
So,
mean, okay, so the thing with Rogue Squadron is I know Rogue Squadron is like a series of books.
yeah.
And I know like on that front, there's going to be people out there that are going to argue, well, that's what they're pulling from. See, I think it's a little bit different because my generation and probably Patty Jenkins, because she's not that much older than me,
Yeah.
we had Rogue Squadron on N64. And
Yeah.
then we had Rogue Squadron 2 on the 2 and 3 on the GameCube.
Yeah.
So, and those games were like Rogue Squadron was big back in the day.
Oh, God,
I remember,
yeah.
oh my God, all my friends like, dude, they were all into Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those situations where, you look at it and you go, okay, are you pulling from the books or are you going to pull more from the games? And I think the games probably are where it's at. But what I'm hearing about, what I read, I should say, I don't want to say what I'm hearing. It sounds like I know anyone other than you. But what I was reading was apparently they were just having trouble nailing the script. And I think, again, I feel like I know Patty Jenkins wants to honor her father and
Yeah.
wants to do like the diehard, dogfights in space, which the thing is like, look, that sounds pretty cool. But let's be real. Let's be real. Hardcore dogfights in Star Wars is not what you want. It's not what you want. You don't want a hardcore dogfight because there's really only so much you can do. What
Yeah.
you want is something that is action packed. Like look at the trench run. The trench run
Yeah.
is enthralling 40 some odd years later because it's
Yeah.
very narrow. It's like there's an objective at the end. The enemy is closing in, and you're screwed either any way you want to go about it. And so it's a really enthralling scene. It still works to this day. But it's like
Yeah.
again, if you're in the vastness of space, what exactly are you going to be able to do? And that's where I think they might have a little bit of trouble because Rogue Squadron was patrolling, the galaxy, but they were patrolling. They were like cops and stuff, So it's like you look at the Rangers of the New Republic, like Rogue Squadron is going to be a part of that. And and I think part of it too was there was like the rumor that they weren't looking to set Rogue Squadron in the post Return of the Jedi days, that it was supposed to be, like post sequel trilogy. And I was like, that's a bad idea. Like that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So that could be something that they ultimately end up, fixing. But hold on here. Let's see. Rational Skeptic here for $5, buddy. Thank you. Says Star Wars needs to get away from the post Return of the Jedi timeline and go back to the time of the Old Republic or the Mandalorian Civil War. I disagree. I think what they need to do is they need to fill the gaps.
Yeah.
They need to fill the gaps between A New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi, and then post Return of the Jedi, and then also between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And I say that.
Yep.
And Mikey, yeah, you agree. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
My sweet spot is between Star Wars and Empire. That's my sweet spot. Park it right there.
See, is it weird that that's a good spot to be, but man, between Empire and Jedi, I feel like is the most interesting.
Because after the Empire won and everything,
yeah, it's like Empire's won. The rebellion is kind of scattered a little bit. Like they got to regroup. They got to go get Han. Luke is trying to figure out how to live with this new hand. I mean, it's ripe for storytelling, and then we get to kind of see him like mature more during that time, because between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, it doesn't really feel like Luke matured all that much. Like the older Luke, like the I should say the performance between A New Hope and Empire, or I should say Empire and Jedi, you feel like it's a different Luke. You feel like Mark Hamill changed. And I know he had his car accident during that time. And so, like I get all that, but it's like he feels like fundamentally different.
Yeah, I remember seeing Return of the Jedi opening day in the theater and seeing him in black. Just come out in black, like whoa. I mean, he has such a strong presence. Like in the opening scenes of that film, I was like, he changed. You can tell he changed.
Well, he goes in there and he chokes the fuck out of some Gamorrean guards, man.
Yeah.
Like you like the thing opens up and he's all and they're like and you're like, dude, he just iced some bitches. Like, holy shit.
Cold-blooded, yeah.
Cold-blooded. And then don't even get me started on the Rancor. Like, listen, I get it, man. I get it. But I'll tell you this though, and this is a bit of a spoiler for Bad Batch, but like it came out a while ago, so whatever. But like that Rancor makes an appearance as a baby.
No way. Oh, that's awesome.
Right? Like that Rancor makes an appearance as like an adolescent or a child, and you're like, motherfucker, dude. Like, and the thing is, you kind of grow to like the Rancor throughout the episode, and then you but when you realize it is who it is, you're like, oh, I know how that fucker dies. Like, and it's not, and because like what makes it worse was like his trainer was like, oh, my best friend died. And, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Don't make me sympathize with this trainer. Like, like, don't make me sympathize with this guy. The thing was going to kill Luke. Jabba was going to kill Luke, and Luke had to defend himself. He had to stand his ground. Fucking, what are you going to put him on trial in Kenosha? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, sorry. So when you see Return of the Jedi again, you feel sympathy. Like, totally have a different reaction now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I know. Rip Moochie. Yeah, that's right, man. Shogun over $5, but he says if they can do a dogfight in Top Gun, then they can do them in Star Wars. That's true, they can. I'm not saying they can't do a dogfight. Yeah. What I mean by that is like it can't just be space. It could be in an asteroid belt. It could be like in a black hole, like around the rim of a black hole. It could be in a quasar. It could be in a nebula. I don't know. It could be on another planet. I feel like, like the Poe Dameron stuff from The Force Awakens was really cool. And then the stuff we got at the end on Crate in Last Jedi, I like that scene quite a bit as well. But The Force Awakens was a lot better. And then again, that last scene in The Rise of Skywalker, I don't care. I like it. When everyone shows up and you got like old man Wedge Antilles there, you're like,
oh, that was awesome.
Because I saw it with my dad, and my dad's like, who was that? I'm like, dude, that's Wedge Antilles. He's like, oh shit. Like, he's like, I didn't know it was, oh my God. Like he was super happy with that. So like, again, like they gotta just, I think, slow it down, put it on the Disney Plus. I mean, is there anything like in the long-term like conversation here? Are they looking to adapt anything specific that you've heard of?
Well, Knights of the Republic was one, and then there's that other. You and I discussed this during the Kathleen Kennedy scoop. God, what was that? What's that called? It was, I think, it was a series of books or a series of video games. I can't remember.
The High Republic.
It wasn't that one. There was something from the 90s.
Oh, Shadows of the Empire.
That's the one that's being discussed.
Man. Don't give me hope. All right, like don't give me hope, Mikey.
These are for like Disney Plus. I mean, I think they're really, really having cold feet about the theatrical angle, and I'm sure once they get, like, let's say if Feige's movie just really hits big, and okay, they'll feel more comfortable about because obviously theatrical is where they make the billions of dollars, but they can also lose a lot too. So that's the gamble.
But at the same time, if they play correctly, the impact value of the show can do wonders. I mean, like, look, I'll use Squid Game as an example. Squid Game, Netflix only paid like $21 million for it, whereas the budgets for these Star Wars shows like $100 million, $150 million, somewhere in there. But like it became so popular, the impact value for Netflix was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 971 million is what it was estimated. So it's like the amount of money that they made off of doing that was definitely going to be something that like was big. And in the case of I know people have argued like that in the Mandalorian's case, like they didn't have Baby Yoda for toy sales, but dude, that little bastard is everywhere now. Like you can't get away from Baby Yoda, you know? And because I have a Baby Yoda mask that I wear, and like I get kids commenting on that all the time. I get parents commenting on it, you know, and it's just like, but I'll see a little kid with a Baby Yoda mask. I got a Baby Yoda mask, and it's like, what's up, little dude? You know, and like they're happy. They're happy to see it. Like they love that they get to see it, even if they don't know the character very well yet. They still love that connectivity that they get to see that people that are older than them appreciate the same stuff they do, and that's what Star Wars is ultimately. But like I feel they should you know, like they should focus on, they need a hit is really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I was reading an article the other day that like the Disney Plus Day failed to launch, you know, really to boost it up. Their stock did dip a little bit, but then it rebounded. But at this point, like they're kind of like stagnating a little bit in regards to new subscribers. And they just opened up in Asian markets. So they're going to be able to get people over there, but they need to have something that is going to take the world by storm, like just like season 1 of The Mandalorian did. And I don't know if they're going to, you know, I don't know if like the Percy Jackson show is going to do it or like the Spiderwick Chronicles are going to do it. I feel like actual like original content, not just adaptations of other things that have been movies, you know, like are going to be it now. But I will say this though, if let's say Warner Brothers came back out and said, oh, we're going to be doing a Harry Potter television series where each season is a book, I'd be like, well, fuck, I'm in. All right. Like, you know, I could see that being a big thing for them. And they might actually, because I think just the movie just came out 20 years ago today, I think.
Oh my God, we're that old now? Holy
We're
shit.
that old. Yeah, we're that old.
Crap, I saw it in a theater, man, opening day. That's insane.
Same here. I saw it in theaters opening day, and I remember seeing it in theaters opening day, and then going to the drive-in and watching it there that night because, you know, we had it and stuff. You know, good times. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. The Watcher asks, any chance they adapt Dark Disciple? I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm not familiar with that one either.
Let me see. Dark Disciple. Come on, if I could type. Oh, Star Wars. Okay. That is a book by Christy Golden. It's a canon novel. Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's all about Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss being, you know, what Dryden Voss is, what that's dad or his brother or whatever. I'm not too sure. You know, oh no, Quinlan Voss popped up on, wasn't he in? Oh shit, I'm trying to remember the character. What, he was in the Clone Wars, wasn't he? Yeah. Anyway, Asajj Ventress was Dooku's apprentice.
Oh, okay.
In Clone Wars. And when you first meet Asajj, you're like, all right, she's kind of like, you know, standard bitch of the week sort of stuff. But like as the show progressed and we got a bit more of her history, Asajj became pretty badass and a good villain to have around, because that was the cool shit with the Clone Wars, is it allowed for the buildup of the villains. So and I see the point the Watcher's asking, are they going to bring in Asajj Ventress? But he says he doesn't know. So, you know, maybe. Hold on. Rational here. Thank you, buddy, for another $5. Says a lot of books and comics already fill the gaps. And I know the excuse will be, but the normies don't read the books or comics. Well, that's on them. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to remember, man, that the reason why they're making their own new canon is because they don't want to adapt the old stuff, really. And there's also royalties to pay out to the other authors, which they'll fight tooth and nail, which they are.
Yeah.
But
tight was at Disney.
But it's because the old canon, it's because the EU is never really canon. Lucas never took it seriously. He never viewed it as canon. Fans viewed it as canon, which is why they want to take elements of that, like Thrawn, and bring him into the mix, because they know that that's a massive, that is very, very beloved by fans. And so they've been laying the groundwork for that for years with the you know, Rebels and the new books by Timothy Zahn. I think he just released his third book in the new Thrawn trilogy, and that's the last time he's writing Thrawn for a while, so he says. But I mean, like, you could see them building that kind of stuff up, and that makes more sense, because like this is something they spent $4 billion on why wouldn't they want to create their own stuff? Why would they need to go back and adapt the old? That was tonally different, across the board, different universes, different genres, different authors. And while they eventually kind of decided on a continuity, a lot of the other stuff, the earlier stuff, is just individual stories.
Yeah.
So
I gotta get going, man. But before I go, I just want to say that mix and match from their history is very Kevin Feige-ish. Infinity War, which came from Infinity Gauntlet, but they changed a lot from the original comic book. That kind of process of like, okay, we'll take this from the EU and we won't adapt it faithfully, but we'll take elements that we like from it and match it with what we're doing now. It's just a very familiar process, you know. Um, like the Civil War film was, they took the fact that Spider-Man's in there, they took that part, and then they kept parts of it, but it wasn't a faithful adaptation of the comic book. Um, like the
oh yeah.
Avengers have like Ultimates inspiration, and Silver Age Avengers inspiration. They kind of threw it all in the blender, right? You know?
Oh yeah, no, I can see them doing that, and you're right. But before you go, I thought you may
Yeah.
want to get a kick out of this here.
Uh-huh.
I was sent this earlier from Fandom Menace posting their L's online, which is a funny little Twitter account. They're posting some of the YouTubers that are talking all the trash, like Ryan Kendall is like Kathleen Kennedy's still president of Lucasfilm, and like the crying about that. You got Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is no longer queer. I don't quite know.
Okay.
Well, he's using it in like, I think, a more direct term because
Okay.
he's British. He's also a dumbass. But he's got her in a trash can for some reason. And then you got Midnight's Edge here saying Kathleen Kennedy Rogue Squadron. Well, they have a Spanish channel that they have. And then, all the copium, which is great. And then you've got Nerdrotics are saying, looks like Kathleen Kennedy's here to stay. Rip Star Wars. Lucasfilm rewards Kathleen Kennedy's failure. It's like none of these guys they don't get business. Obviously, I get that, and they're all trying to be facetious, which I get. But it's like after some point in time, don't you think it's like, hey, maybe stop? But their audience rewards them, and to be fair, the YouTube algorithm absolutely rewards them. So
For some reason, that when I watch YouTube on my television, all these videos pop up in my menu, and I'm like, I don't even watch these. Why are they even there? Like, YouTube recommends, like, why? Yeah, even like watch them. It's just weird how the algorithm works that way.
yeah, the algorithm. It's a mysterious motherfucker, is what it is. But all right. Oh, real quick before you go,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the Spider-Man trailer? Why no Toby? Why no Andrew?
I loved it. Yeah. Well, it was heavily edited. We're running an article on that tomorrow. Feige did not want to. Let's just say if I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but there's a scene in there where there's actually an editing error. But if they had shown Garfield, anybody would have easily put two and two together and figured something out in the plot. And
Okay.
it makes sense. It makes sense. But it's a huge spoiler, guys, and you maybe you don't want to know. But let's just say that Garfield and Toby were in a scene in that trailer that they were edited out.
I think I know the scene.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us know the scene. In fact, if you look at the screen right here,
Mhm.
I think you can kind of tell exactly. There's three bad guys, one good guy. Obviously, there's going to be symmetry.
Yeah.
Three bad guys, three good guys. But the most interesting thing about this to me is the fact that, for one, there's a shit ton of scaffolding. And that Andrew Garfield clip clearly shows the scaffolding, as well as what John Campea leaked out the other day.
Yep.
Had that.
Same thing.
But did you notice, though, that what's on the Statue of Liberty, what's right there on the other side of the torch? Did you catch that shot in the trailer? It's from earlier on in the trailer. But earlier on in the trailer, you can see that it is a Captain America shield.
Yeah,
that they are putting a Captain America shield on the Statue of Liberty.
yeah.
So-
There's actually this scene is the one that everybody's talking about because somebody punches a lizard. There's nobody there, right?
Oh yeah, his neck just gets wrecked one direction. I mean, it looks like the CG makes it look like the lizard's neck it goes like 3 sizes too long, sort of thing.
Okay. I have to. It's not this scene I was talking about. This scene is very suspicious already. Everybody's talking about. There's another scene that, and I think I've seen people speculate on it. I can see why they did not want to show. Okay, if you guys don't want no spoilers, tune out for a few minutes. Just want to tell Matt about this.
Wait, I don't even know if I want spoilers.
Actually, maybe you might not want to know.
Yeah. I don't. Here's the thing: is I want to know,
Yeah.
but I also don't want to know. But I will
Yeah,
say this though: I had so many friends that were telling me oh no, Toby and Andrew are going to be in the trailer. They're going to be in the trailer, and I'm like, they're not. And I said this. I said they're not going to be in the trailer.
Yeah.
Why would you give it away? Why would you give away that big thing? Like that is not something you want to have in the marketing material. I mean, look, because here's the thing with that too. The movie opens December 15th in the UK.
Yeah.
So, 2 days later we get it here. So that just means that, basically shut down Twitter. Go complete hermit, live in the woods for a day, and because it's going to be everywhere. And the thing is though, but I'll tell you this though, Mikey, they're going to follow the same playbook that they did with fucking Venom, which is they're releasing it in the UK 2 days early. Just like that fan screening was like 2 weeks early, and all those spoilers are going to come out. All those leaks are going to come out, and that is going to elevate the domestic box office haul of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like that's all it's about. And people don't believe me when I tell them this, that it's literally, they are pushing the leak economy to its maximum. Like you're never going to see something as hype as this.
No,
So-
if you had The Force Awakens was hype, this is even more so than that. I mean, this is hype on steroids.
Yeah. Do you think that it's entirely possible that this is I believe this is $1 billion movie.
It's $1 billion movie, and it's up in China. They have a China release.
Oh, that's right. They do. But could it hit?
billion.
But could it hit 2 billion?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh,
I mean, maybe that's a tall order, but I could easily see 1.5 billion. I could easily see 1.5 billion.
Even the pandemic, I think people are just gonna keep seeing it over and over again.
Yeah.
The only thing though, Matt, it's a sad film. That's when you watch films over and over again, they're usually more upbeat there. But then again, Endgame was kind of downbeat too. That made over $1 billion. So really, just the quality of the film is so good that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right? Like The Force Awakens is an upbeat film. Like when it's over, you feel like an adventure is coming.
Yeah.
Like I unironically adore The Force Awakens.
I do too. That's a great film.
But then The Last Jedi, it's like what happens next? Who knows? There's no setup.
Yeah.
And then The Rise of Skywalker feels like 2 movies in one, and it happens at a breakneck speed, and it just kind of leaves you, And then again, there was diminishing returns across the board. But you're right. I mean, I think where Endgame sets. I think the thing with Endgame is not that it ended on a sad note. Is that it actually it ended? It was that big battle scene, seeing everyone there. That was the culmination.
That was incredible.
And then Far From Home, the reason why that did $1 billion, because I think Far From Home was a good movie, but Far From Home was the emotional conclusion to that story.
Yeah.
And that's, I keep always referencing how Game of Thrones did it, where you had the penultimate episode was the big episode, and then the antultimate, the season finale, was always the wrap up and the setup. And again, when we talk about how Marvel approaches these properties, it's like a television series. It's must-see TV. So what happens is we get the penultimate thing with Endgame, and then the antultimate to the entire Infinity Saga, setting up Phase 4 and beyond, and the wrap-up, of course, is Spider-Man Far From Home. And that's, I mean, it's brilliant when you think about it. It's absolutely brilliant that they take our TV viewing habits and they put them in theaters, and everyone just keeps going, and they just keep making more money. It's smart. Now do the same thing with Star Wars, goddammit.
Well, people were pointing out as well, Matt, that there's a scene in a trailer. It's at 1:59 in a trailer. If you slow it down to 0.25 times, that's all this technical stuff. There's a scene where Spider-Man is jumping at the camera, and while he's being attacked, he jumps at the camera. If you put it in 0.25, People are saying that's Andrew Garfield's mask or Toby's mask with a reskinned uniform on. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's this. What I liked was I don't know if you caught this one right here.
Yeah.
This image right here of him with the black suit.
Yeah.
This is his suit turned inside out.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
For one, the composition of this shot's amazing in my mind. Like, it stands out like crazy. Like, I mean, just whatever he's doing right there with like the the tech from Doctor Strange and Electro behind him, but just like the blinding light, and like, I mean, the whole this to me is just an amazingly well done shot, and it just, I mean, like that one and like this one right here as well. Like the quality isn't as good, but I mean, just like the cinematography on this, they've really upped it up a notch. The visuals are going to be amazing. I think they're really pushing for that IMAX. I could see them absolutely cracking that 2 billion. But I'll tell you the scene I want, Mikey, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I just want something akin to this.
Actually, you're gonna get one.
Yes. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. I like this scene in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I do too. There is something on the level of this. I think it will bring the house down. We'll say.
All right, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And
I won't ruin it for you, but it's a bring the house down moment.
Okay.
But it's really funny that Garfield continues to deny. I mean,
Well, he gave away the plot though today, or in that Today Show interview. I watched it today, and he gave away the plot because he makes a comment about like. They're like, well, we got to ask you about this because everyone's talking about it. And he goes like, and I'm going to keep telling you the same answer because I'm better at my job than you.
Oh, there you go. See?
He says that. He says that. And it was this really, I mean, like it comes across as condescending. And I'm like, well, it's Andrew Garfield. But it's like when he says I'm better at my job than you, like he's implying I'm a better actor than you. So he's going to very much not talk about this, but he starts name dropping like Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal and John Watts and Tom Holland. And I'm like, dude, I'm not saying like, I mean, Pascal, clearly he knows. Feige, clearly he knows. I'm sure he's met Tom and everything else, but like John Watts, that's the one that stuck out to me.
That's like a sore thumb. Like, come on, you've never worked with him. How do you know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, okay. I mean, but then again, he could have. I'm sure he's been privy to everything because coming, whatever. But the last thing. This is what Anna Underhaven's been asking. Mephisto, yay or nay on Mephisto?
Nay. Well, okay. Yes and no. Okay. They changed Mephisto to Nightmare. Is what I'm hearing. So Nightmare is Mephisto, basically. They spec the characters together. They're not going to call him Mephisto. It's a China thing. That's why Doctor Strange is acting funny.
Yeah, that Scooby-Doo line really bothered a lot of people.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was like Scooby-Doo, the hell out of this crap. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird line. As I'm, the more I watch the trailer, but I mean, yeah, he just feels so out of place.
Yeah, well, they gave Nightmare Mephisto's the mischievous personality, so they kind of. So technically, Mephisto's not in it, but he's in it though. so if they keep denying Mephisto, it's not Mephisto's Nightmare.
Okay. Well, that's definitely something worth checking out. I mean, I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I don't want you telling me anything.
I won't.
Specifically, because it was like after the Luke Skywalker thing with Mando. I asked you. I said, "Did you know about it?" And you're like, "Yeah." And I'm all like, you never said anything. It's like I didn't want to ruin it for people.
No, I actually that's one scoop, Matt, that I could have been very successful with. I couldn't do it. I mean, as someone who saw Star Wars on opening day, I got really emotional when I heard, But even if I knew what was happening, I still got chills when I saw it. It's like when I saw the X-wing, I was freaking out, man.
Yeah.
I told a few people. I told Tebow and a few people, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna ruin this for that.
No, as soon as I saw that X-wing, I was all like, I know it's on. It's on.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because I'm like, no one else is going to be piloting an X-wing around that time. Well, I mean, they clearly set it up. They clearly wanted to dupe the audience into thinking that Trapper Wolf was, or the other guy was going to show up again.
Yeah,
you know, like that last minute Deus Ex Machina scene from like chapter 10, I think, with the spider monsters, which are amazing. And then, but I'm like, nah, that's not, I'm like, that's Luke. But then as soon as Grogu turns his head and starts touching the monitor, I was like, oh my God, I could feel goosebumps coming on. And I'm like, no freaking way. And oh, it was so good. So good. I don't mind saying that I was a 38-year-old man crying my eyes out watching that, you know, I don't even care.
We all
like,
got emotional at that scene.
No, I don't think anyone would judge me either. Like, oh, I get it, dude. I get it. Like, you know, there's definitely a time when it's good to cry, and that's one of them.
That, you know, if that's Mark Hamill's final scene ever, what a great way to go. Right?
The thing is, though, it's like I don't know what exactly they did. I think that whole thing was staged with him on set, like for the documentary, because like they used the body double. And they didn't even mocap Mark's face, because they went and they used AI to deep fake it, and they didn't even use Mark Hamill's voice. That the whole thing was done by you know, sifting through data points of audio recordings in order to synthesize what Mark would have said, and that's an actual technology that Adobe showcased a couple of years ago. And so it's like they were doing that. They were using these advanced technologies in order to push it to that level. And I think they just had Mark there I think they did it for Mark, to be honest with you. I think they did it for Mark. They did it for the fans to have, like, you know, to have that involvement. Because if they would have done Luke Skywalker without Mark being there, I think it would have come across as being cheap, you know, and it wouldn't have been as authentic. But you can frame it in a way where it's like, yeah, they shot with him, but none of that is what we saw. But he was still there. And I think he was probably there like while they were actually shooting the scene. And then from there, they were, you know, they went in there. Either way, I got to go back and watch that again, because now I'm thinking about it. And that's just such a good damn episode.
Oh my God. It's one of the best episodes ever. All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
Thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate it. We'll get you on again soon, and we'll laugh at a lot of dumb people.
We'll do. We'll take care, man.
All right. See you later, Mikey. Check him out, geekositymag.com. Mikey said, oh, yeah, and your new your comic book.
Dreamwalker comes out Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. That's issue 1. How many issues are you going to have?
We're going to have, we have 6-issue story arc, and I have a new comic book company called Second Skin Comics. So pretty exciting.
Can I reveal a little thing you told me about it, though? I think it's issue 3 specifically.
Go for it. Yeah.
So Mikey's sitting here writing this comic. He hits me up on Facebook, and he's all like showing me stuff about it. I can't tell you what it is yet, because I'm under strict orders to not do it. But then he drops a little bombshell on me, and he's like, "I'm writing a character based on you. That's it's like an online talk show host, right? Is that who it is? So apparently I'm a very opinionated online radio talk show host. It's going to be based around my character. Will be appearing in issue 3, which is like, that's really cool. So thank you, by the way, for that.
Yeah, you are the ultimate skeptic, and you are the opposite of Alex Jones. You're his arch enemy type of thing, and you don't believe in anything. I mean, you're
that's good.
Until, well, I don't want to ruin it, but anyway.
All right, yeah, no, I can't wait to read it. That's awesome right there. Looking forward to seeing myself represented as like the anti Alex Jones.
There you go.
There we go.
I wanted to have a skeptic in there. I'm like, you know what? I'll model him after Red Jarbo. It's gonna have your likeness. It's gonna have your likeness too. So
that's good. But this picture of me. All right, like this one of me this is me from 2016, where I didn't have as much gray on me. So use that one, not my current one. I looked like a chud. Anyway, but all right, Mikey, go get some sleep, dude. Or go edit the website. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, everybody, very much, man. I'll see you later.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mikey Sutton from Geekosity Mag. Be sure to go and check him out. While we get into the rest of tonight's stuff, I'm going to be joined now by Caden. How's it going, Caden?
What's up, Matt?
Not too much. Got a
Oh
couple
my
pieces
God.
of news to touch upon, and then I don't know what's going on with this. With this, apparently Enosh is having a bit of a thing. Should I?
Yeah.
What's going on? Who's Richard?
So there's this one of his members of his like account channel is the Richard, and the Richard is clearly either high or drunk. I don't know, but he was, you know, that scene when we see so in the opening when we see Peter and MJ swing through the train.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, there's eyes on MJ's butt." And it wasn't even, it was just like he kept on saying that, and we're looking at him like, we're like, no, there isn't. And then later on, he was like talking about so the black and gold suit, one that has without the red fabric, and that has like it's like basically hands by Doctor Strange and whatever, and has the taped phone with Ned and MJ on there. Basically, before he's like on the
Yeah.
ground with it. He thinks it's like, oh, that's Venom. And then a scene later, it shows the full suit, and you see behind him Electro's forming. But then he's like, oh, that's electricity. That's a female electricity, because like it's like four little tendrils coming out of it. But then he's like, no, it's Shocker. And it's just like, it's just funny because like he like RJ and well, Brian and DL were saying guys are overlooking this trailer, and Richard was truly overlooking this trailer, like looking deep into things. Like it was just funny because like RJ and Enosh were like, no, it's not that, and it's just so it was just funny.
Yeah,
She's
well, I mean,
like,
earlier tonight, you know,
when we were
watching the trailer and stuff, like, I mean, that I thought that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that stream,
it was
and
fun, you know.
and just I think it's a good trailer. I think it told us a lot of what's going to be going
Yeah.
on, and teases a lot without giving us everything, you know. So
And also the whole Otto Octavius thing, them laughing at it. It's just simple Peter Parker and friends, teenagers in high school
I know,
laughing at some professor's name. Like that's what we do when I was in high school. One teacher that had like a really stupid sounding, we all laughed at it when we first heard it. But you know, after that, we stopped laughing because you know we can't laugh at the teacher every single day.
But like I said, it goes back to that line from Infinity War when he's talking with Doctor Strange. It's like, oh, who's your name?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm Stephen Strange. Oh, we're using our made up names. You know, and that's, I mean, he's a teenager. What the fuck do you expect? Like,
Or,
you know,
the It's Strange thing where Steven's like, oh, when he's like, oh, it's Doctor. It's like, Doctor what? It's Strange. Like, oh, like in Doctor Strange with the whole thing. With
it's good. Oh yeah. Real quick, hero journalism for $1. Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, I've been thinking about Spider-Man trailer all night. I'm like,
Yeah.
I really love this franchise. I really love this character. I really love the actor portraying it. I love the world it built, and I love that we're getting to see this conclusion to this trilogy. And I feel like,
same.
and I really liked Andrew Garfield as well. So I feel like, you know, we got screwed on that third one. I know Sony overshot their load on it 100%. They screwed up hardcore, but now we're in a place where we are going to be getting a really cool look at everything.
And Enosh has been a bit of a boomer, even though he's not.
He was called a boomer. The chat on the stream hated him. They were not happy with Enosh on the stream because he was trying to like shut down people's excitement. I mean, I get it. He's basically doing what I do on his streams every time somebody brings up the Snyder Cut, and I'm just all like, it ain't going to be happening again, right? And they're like, no, don't say that, Matthew. Oh my God, no. And I'm like, yeah, it's all right though. It's all right.
I was just making fun of him. Like he's just mad he didn't get Man of Steel 2.
Well, okay, so Queen Danny makes a point here. She says, I want a Spider-Man movie, not a Spider-Man and Friends.
I think we'll get that with Spider-Man 4 because
I get that. Yeah, he's got to grow. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're playing the long game on the character, which I really like.
with especially that it's an MCU, it's a big cinematic universe where you can't just do a character for 10 years, or 5 years. You like, especially a main character like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a character that you want to keep for 15, 20 years, or even longer. However you can like take that actor in, and the actor wants to play that character. You want to keep that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they've definitely done a lot to invest into the character, and they definitely want to keep it going. Hence why we're getting, an animated spin-off series. So
what is up with all this, like me liking Rise of Skywalker? I don't like Rise of Skywalker. It's Anthony Beltray that's like spreading these lies.
That you like Rise of Skywalker?
Yes,
okay. So you just admitted that you like Rise of Skywalker.
No, I don't. I don't.
It's okay to like Rise of Skywalker.
I don't like that movie. It's a terrible, terrible movie.
Nah, well, you just said you liked it, so there's that.
No, I don't.
Rainbow the Gamer asking, do you think there will be a third trailer? No.
No.
I don't
think if there is, it's not going to be not going to show anything new.
It's one of those things.
A money shot that might be either Charlie Cox or the 3 other 2.
Nah, they don't need that. They don't need any of that. Like, that's the whole point. I kept saying this too. They don't need any of that stuff.
Shot, though?
Their money shot would probably be another fight scene with a villain. Like a fight scene. Like, what's going to happen with Doc Ock? It's either going to, you know what it is? They're going to give us something with Green Goblin, probably. Yeah, that would be the money shot.
Obviously, like we see in this trailer, which is very weird and cool at the same time, where like Doc Ock mixes up this Spider-Man who's in the Iron Spider suit for Toby, and thinking it's Peter, aka the Toby, it's Peter. And then once he puts him under the bridge and everything, he sees it's not his Peter. At least he thinks it's not Peter in general. He just thinks it's some rando person.
Well, I mean, no, he's gonna see him in the Spider-Man costume and be like, "You're not Peter Parker. Where the hell am I?" So I think I get that. Now, the Watcher asks, "Are you sure there's no third Spider-Man trailer?" The movie comes out a month from today in the States. A month from today, because it's the 16th, which means there's going to be, it opens on the 17th, but there's going to be the midnight, the early preview screenings.
Which is like
the tickets go on sale on the 29th, which is 13 days from now. So that's 2 weeks until the release of the, that's about what, a little less than 2.5 weeks. Yeah. They could drop a trailer like right before the ticket sales. They're going to put out something right before the ticket sales go live, but I don't think they need it. I don't think they actually need to do it.
Like a teaser TV spot type thing that they'll put with the
they'll do maybe a little 60-second tease with something else. They'll give you, but it's not going to be a full-on trailer.
15 seconds of buy tickets now.
Yeah, Jacob here asking, do you think Charlie Cox will be in the movie for 12 minutes? I don't think he's even going to be in the movie for that long.
I think max 15 minutes.
Nah. Charlie Cox is just going to be a cameo appearance, man. He might pop up like 2-3 times. Whatever happens, and it's just going to be, he'll be in. Look, we're not going to see him in the Daredevil suit. All right.
No, not until She-Hulk.
Yeah. I just, as cool as that would be, we're not going to see it.
Yeah.
Hero Journalism here. Jason says, for $2, buddy. Thank you. Electro's electricity takes shape of classic mask. That is true. That looked awesome.
Is really awesome.
That took a lot of us by surprise.
Also, like you were saying earlier, that clearly this isn't a finished product, because when you look at Electro, you can still tell it's still Jamie Foxx with the stunt rigs and everything.
Yeah.
But with overgloss with CGI, and you can tell it's that real quick. Not real quick, because they literally focus on it for like 10 seconds.
I think they're going to give us what we want with this movie.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, this trailer shows you that this is definitely like an evolution. As much as I loved Far From Home, but like Far From Home, I thought was kind of weird because like it wasn't like it left New York, and and I wanted a Spider-Man movie. I just want there to be a Spider-Man movie where he's in New York, and he's just dealing with that shit, right? Like no interworld, interplanetary stuff, no going to another country. like Homecoming. I think Homecoming was great because it's a very small story.
Yes. One thing I do have kind of a concern and a really cool detail looking forward to is if Stephen Strange does do the spell at the end where everyone forgets Peter is Spider-Man, how would that affect Adrian Toomes? And
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to put it back all at the end, right? Like by
Yeah.
putting everybody back, is it going to undo the spell? Look, here's the thing though. There's a shot at some point. Cause like, I don't think the movie begins by taking place during Christmas, but I think it might end at Christmas or something like that, because there's a shot of Tom Holland in the snow and he's got a note and he's walking and there's Michelle and she's, in a restaurant. She's working as a waiter.
Right.
I'm just wondering, again, I don't know like what's going to happen with this. Clearly something is going to happen with her character.
Think with this movie, we you know, because one of the main connections in Far From between MJ and Peter was the reveal of him, him revealing to her that he's Spider-Man, and it's in the trailer too that like that's like the most normal thing to happen to him in a while, was telling someone that he's Spider-Man, which is for anyone else that ain't normal, but based off the events previous movies for him, that is normal, and so that was one of the major connections between MJ and Peter in that movie. So without that connection, I think it may kind of unravel the twine that connects MJ and Peter, and that's like they still have the connection between Homecoming and Homecoming and some of the beginning Far From Home, but once that reveal happens, everything after that is kind of erased with MJ. So this is like him kind of like, okay, I have to remember when we left off, like currently in the timeline of before I revealed who I was to her, and use that as my way to tell her that I love her, like and and all that stuff. So, and you can see in the trailer that she still has the black dahlia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I know the one he got her in Italy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, she still has it, but it's broken.
Okay.
So
yeah, so there's a fair amount. Like there's stuff. I mean, there's going to be Easter eggs to look for. Clearly, this is going to be one that we watch multiple times. What I'm wondering though is will Homecoming and Far From Home be on Disney Plus before they're? I think they will. Are they? Unless they're already there.
I think. Well, let me relook at that deal because it looked when I was rereading it. Netflix, Disney Plus.
Yeah. Let's see here. Is Spider-Man Homecoming at Disney Plus? I mean, like I know
Sony
that they're
Pictures' upcoming theatrical slate and much of its library are headed to Disney streaming and TV platforms. The new deal, which covers Sony's 2022 and 26 through 2026 theatrical slate, will bring the films to Disney-owned streaming service Disney Plus and Hulu, as well as Disney's linear TV networks, including ABC, Disney Channel, Freeform, FX, and National Geographic. The deal comes weeks after Netflix and Sony inked a massive pact for Sony's films to go the streaming service for the first paid windows, which usually come 18 months after the film hits theaters. Once that window expires, the new Disney deal will see Sony titles hit Disney platforms for their pay 2 windows. Okay, so once they're done with their year and a half on Netflix, then they'll go to
it's not a year and a half. I'm looking up this deal here. It says 9 months.
Oh, this is 18 months on the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, okay. I don't know. This one, I don't know. Maybe Hollywood Reporter is probably more accurate than Screen Crush. But well, no, they're pulling from they're pulling from a Variety article. So I don't know. Look, here's the thing. Well, I'll put it to you like this: when you had Disney Plus getting ready to launch a couple years ago, there was a big how to do about Star Wars because Disney did not have the streaming rights to Star Wars, the streaming or television rights. That was actually owned by TNT, who had purchased a 5-year deal, like a contract. Oh no, it was a long-term contract. It was like, I think 10 years or something. And for like $225 million or some shit. And they had it to like 2023. And Disney, through Iger or whatever, worked the deal in order to get the rights to put Star Wars on Disney Plus. So it was there when Disney Plus launched. So clearly there's precedent for them working deals to get this kind of stuff. I do think that No Way Home is probably going to take some time to get over to Disney Plus, but obviously Far From Home and Homecoming should be on there pretty quick. So but anyway, let's quickly you know what, I think this is actually probably a good place to end it, because I'm starting to get a little bit on the sleepy side. There's other things I want to talk about, but I can say that for tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's because I mean, we're also doing the hour earlier today.
Right.
Like hour, like it was like hour 20, kind of wiped me out. So
it was
fun. It was fun.
hour.
It was just a little tiring. Although I might need to jump into Enosh's stream to go, what the hell's going on, and laugh at them all. But yeah, anyway, guys, so listen, I appreciate all of you tuning in. We had a little over 100 people tonight listening to Mikey Sutton talk. That's fantastic. Thank you all. And I'll be back on tomorrow night. We'll be covering some stuff. I don't know what news is going to happen, but we'll see what's going on.
Who knows?
And if you guys haven't already, do me a solid, toss a like, hit that subscribe. If you want to become a channel member, great way to get in on the action is to just do it. Don't think about it. Click the join button. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have yourself a great one, everybody. Thanks again, and peace out.